Namaskar, hello and welcome. CSAT 2023 was a rude shock for many students, and again, not just for students but also for the educators. And so, going forward for CSAT 2024, well, a lot of changes need to be considered in. There needs to be an overhaul of strategy as to how you are going to approach the CSAT paper. Okay. And how we are going to prepare to make sure that you do not stay in that gray zone, that area between 65 to 80 when you finally come out of your examination hall in 2024. So in this video, we are going to essentially understand what should be your strategy. I'm going to provide you with a master plan so that you can prepare for the CSAT in the most scientific manner possible. Hello and welcome. My name is Bhuvan and I'm with StudyIQ IAS. As in this video, we will take a comprehensive look at how a student's CSAT preparation going forward should be. So first, let's understand that in CSAT, you are looking at the three primary areas of interest. Okay, maths, the main bete noir this year, where most students struggled with the level of maths. Obviously, it was a shock. It wasn't expected. However, going forward, now it needs to be considered in that a certain proficiency, a certain level of proficiency in maths is now desired by the UPSC. And that you can no longer say avoid the preparation of the CSAT paper up until say 2 months before the examination. That wouldn't be a prudent strategy. Okay. So maths is one area of concern for students. Similarly, you're also looking at reasoning, again, a problem area for students who come from, say, the non-science backgrounds. And then from those who come from the science backgrounds, well, they have a problem area when it comes to reading comprehension. So you see, these three primary constituents of the CSAT examination, they need to be tackled individually, and you need to tackle them in a manner in which you are comfortably above the cutoff zone. So how are you going to do that? What's the master plan that I have for you? Well, for starters, first, as students of CSAT, as someone who is looking to appear for the CSAT examination in the year 2024, you are first going to understand the trend. What exactly does the examination demand of you? Obviously, syllabus analysis is important, but mere syllabus analysis will not guarantee you the level of proficiency that you need to clear the examination. You need to understand the expectations of the UPSC, especially after 2023 CSAT. So, understanding the trend, understanding what kind of questions and what level of expertise do you need to have in particular subject areas, in particular concepts, is a must do for any serious aspirant. At the same time, you also need to look at the questions. No longer should you be surprised by the questions. Or again, no longer should you be surprised by the kind of options that UPSC might throw at you. So for those students who have appeared in 2023, they will know better that in GS paper 1, the options that were given to them completely unexpected. No one can discount that from the same thing happening in CSAT 2024, which is why there needs to be an impetus not just on the questions but also on the options. That you need to prepare yourself for any eventuality. Okay. At the same time, you need to go ahead and invest a significant amount of time here on for concept building. Not just say for the mathematics, for the reasoning, but also particularly for the reading comprehension bit. Right? There is a specific method in which you approach reading comprehension. If I were to just speak about it for 2 minutes, well, reading comprehension is not something that you trust your gut with. Most students of civil services make that mistake. That there is a method in which you appear for the examination and prepare for the reading comprehension. Right? So that needs to be factored in by any serious aspirant. That you need to identify, say, the crux, the gist of the passage. How do you go about identifying, say, the primary theme of the passage as opposed to, say, the ancillary theme of the passage? Again, specific concepts that will require specific knowledge. Okay? At the same time, massive thrust on question practice. In fact, as someone who's looking to appear for the civil services next year, you must already should have started with your questions practice. In fact, right now, going forward until at least say January, you would be advised to go ahead and invest 2/3 of your CSAT time in understanding concepts and 1/3 of your CSAT preparation time in practicing questions. Unless you are starting with this right now, you risk making the same mistakes that most students made in the year 2023. That no longer can you completely ignore the CSAT paper up until say next year, January or February. That would not be a prudent strategy at all. Okay. You're also looking at previous year's question analysis and practice. In fact, the best source of information that you have to understand the commission's mindset, the kind of expectation that it carries or has from an aspirant, the kind of expertise that you need to have, say in maths, the kind of expertise you need to have, say in English, not just in passage but also vocabulary. So the previous year's question give you that insight into the mindset of the UPSC. That what kind of proficiency are you expected to have and how are you going to prepare for it? It gives you a goal essentially and you cannot ignore it. Ignore it at your own peril, in fact. Okay? And finally, this is a major area of concern. Doubts are natural, they are expected in this whole process as you start your journey for civil services. However, what is absolutely advisable is that you do not carry your doubts to the next day. That they should be resolved the moment that they have propped up, that they have come up. So now that we have understood that the whole strategy of CSAT preparation is a multi-pronged approach. It is not something that you can do in isolation. It is not something that you can do alone. Okay? You are going to require hand-holding to make sure that the mistakes of 2023 CSAT are no longer or no more repeated 2024 onwards. And so specifically keeping that in mind, my dear students, StudyIQ IAS has thankfully come up with a 100 classes CSAT initiative, the admissions for which are closing just 2 days here on the 30th of June. In fact, we begin on the 30th of June at 3:30 p.m. And what is the whole focus of this series? Well, again, as I mentioned, complete hand-holding, making sure that you have all the information, that you're armed to the teeth when it comes to making sure that you have the access, the resources, the knowledge, the information, the practice for the CSAT paper. Okay. So this 100 hours, 100 classes CSAT batch starting on the 30th, we have limited seats available. In fact, I am told that no longer the seats are in abundance. It's very limited seats. Any student who is really serious about the Civil Services Examination 2024, go ahead and sign up for this course using the code BALIVE, as that assures that I become a part of your preparation. You can be rest assured that after you have signed up for this course, what you will essentially find is that your knowledge level in, say, maths, in reading comprehension, and in reasoning, all these three key areas will be tackled by world-class faculty, and I say this with a lot of humility and sincerity at my disposal. Individuals who will be committed to making sure that your knowledge base is first prepared, that you have exposure to ample questions, ample types of questions, as well as the options that exist, and again giving the sense of the previous year's questions, the analysis of it, the hand-holding right from day one up until you go appear for your prelims examination. This is going to be of vital importance to any serious aspirant, again, specifically for those who are appearing for the first time. If you have seen the paper of 2023, in fact, I would strongly suggest that you go ahead and look at the paper of 2023. The GS2, the CSAT paper. Have a look at the CSAT paper. You will understand that the level of the examination has now gone up manifold. No longer it is something that you can ignore up until at the last moment. That would not be a prudent strategy. And if you are someone who appeared for 2023, and was unfortunately unsuccessful, well, we will pinpoint that problem area for you. Your weaknesses will be addressed, your strengths will be further reinforced. That is the way you go ahead and secure a comfortable mark, a comfortable score in the CSAT examination, right? So again, once again, very quickly, go ahead, sign up for this. We begin on the 30th of June. That's just 2 days here on. This is the 28th today. So we are in the last 48 hours. The countdown has well and truly begun. I hope you will be as excited to come up and join this course as I am to serve those who have already signed up. And I am telling you with a lot of sincerity that we do not have many seats left, in fact. So again, if you are planning to sign up for this, go ahead firstly to the StudyIQ website, have a look at the course brochure. Thereafter, use the code BALIVE and avail for yourself a substantial discount. Again, not just for CSAT, StudyIQ is also closing its admissions for the Prelims to Interview batch, this flagship batch of program of StudyIQ. It's a once-in-a-lifetime initiative, guys. You know, if I had to just give you the brief overview of this whole course, what you are looking at essentially is hand-holding from the prelims up until the whole interview process. And the flagship part of this course, the key operative part of this course is that those who clear prelims have the opportunity to come join us here in New Delhi. Stay with us in our mains residential program, free of cost. All you need to do is study. You will be under the continuous guidance of some of the best faculty, subject experts, subject specialists, and they will be in touch with you 24/7. You have access to mentors, one-to-one mentorship. You have access to ex-IAS, IPS, IRS, IFS officers who will give you those Gyanvani sessions, those motivation sessions to make sure you overcome those moments of weakness that eventually come in any aspirant's journey. So it's a complete package, you know. Once you have signed up for the Prelims to Interview initiative, I don't think you should go ahead and buy even any other book from the market. Everything is provided for you in a manner, in a form in which you can understand and translate it into better scores in prelims, mains, and the final results, right? So the admissions for the Prelims to Interview batch in these three languages, Hindi, English, and Hinglish, closing on the 30th of June, the same day as the CSAT course, 6 p.m. is when the admissions close. May I again inform you that the classes for this have just begun. The orientation classes are just over. So you will not miss a lot, in fact. You would straight away be caught up with the whole class schedule and the structure. And then after that, you will begin your ascent for this Himalayan journey, you know, which hopefully will be over for you in 1 year. This Himalayan journey, this hand-holding, we will be your Sherpa as you hope to climb the Mount UPSC. All right. So make sure you use the code BALIVE. Join us for this Prelims to Interview initiative and the CSAT program that I was discussing with you right now. Well, the CSAT program is included in the Prelims to Interview program. So you don't need to buy that separately. However, for those of you who may not like to join us for this, go ahead and join us for the CSAT program. Use the code BALIVE in both instances. All right. On that note, thank you for joining. I hope to see many of you in our CSAT program and our Prelims to Interview initiative that is being launched by StudyIQ IAS. And I hope that we have a successful journey together as you go ahead in your aim to become a part of the steel frame of India. Thanks for joining. Good night.